Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As 2019 fast approaches an end, I've been thinking I wanted to do a video for you guys showcasing my 10 favorite cars I've sold in 2019. First, I just wanted to take a minute to thank every one of you that's watched the video, subscribed to the channel, liked the videos, anyone that follows me on Instagram, basically any of you guys that interact with me in any way. We kind of started doing this for fun, just the whole YouTube thing, and just a good way to document kind of life around the dealership and have a little bit of fun with it. And now I've kind of taken it into a little bit more of a project of something I actually want to grow and build as time goes on. So I do want to just say thank you again to everyone who supported us in any way. I really appreciate you guys watching the videos and subscribing and liking them and interacting with me in any way. 2020, we've got some huge plans for the channel. I've got all kinds of trips booked internationally, and I'm going to be shooting some content with some pretty big names that I'm super excited about, and just having fun in the process, and making some fun videos day to day around the dealership about cool stuff and shenanigans we get into here and there. So anyways, with that said, thank you again, guys. I hope you guys have a great New Year's. And let's get down to my 10 favorite cars we sold this year. Alright, so with that, let's get down to the list of my 10 favorite cars we sold this year. We'll start with number 10, the yellow Lamborghini LP560. This was an absolutely immaculately clean, low kilometer, perfect car. Now the thing that kind of, I think actually turned me on to this car was the fact that a lot of people didn't like it because of the color. It had a yellow outside, a yellow inside, yellow calipers, and a lot of people actually didn't like it. They said there was too much yellow. It kind of took a little longer to sell than it should have, so that might have been a part of it with the color. But I absolutely was drawn to the car, both with the color and how clean it was, and it's definitely well deserving of spot number 10. Number 9, the Chrome Nissan GTR. As you guys know, we are Canada's largest GTR dealer, and we will buy, a GTR, whether it's got a silly wrap on it or mods or bone stock. We'll pretty much buy them all. Now, I'm not normally a fan of chrome wraps. I find that they look good in pictures, but when you see them in person, they kind of show every little imperfection, and if they're not clean, they show all that too. This car is no different, but again, when you saw it in person and it was like out in the sun, in daylight, reflecting, it really worked with kind of the whole characteristic of GTRs. I absolutely actually love the car because of the chrome wrap, and it sold right away, so obviously the market dictated it was popular as well. Number 8, the Regal Red GTR. From my research, this was one of 172 built in the world. 50 of those were sent to North America. And from what I can tell, there was only 2 in that color with a pure white interior, which I'd never seen before, ever online or in person. So starting with a really rare spec of a GTR in a really nice color. It was a deep red that had a lot of gold flake in it in the sun, and it absolutely looked stunning. Part of the reason why I like this car so much, this is a car I sold to a client about a year ago, took back in trade against a Lamborghini. And when we get these cars that come back to us, I have a little bit more of an attachment to them because it's meant to be. It's coming home to you, and you know the history for the last year about what the owner's done to it or anything like that. And no different than the gentleman that actually bought it from us. He is the type of guy that will probably trade it in the next year or so on something else. So number 8, the Regal Red GTR. Number 7. The Sprint Blue Audi RS4. This car is what I would say is probably one of the last clean examples left in Canada for sure. And when I say clean, I mean a couple things. Low mileage, no paint work, clean Carfax, no claims, full service records, and just a car that then is actually very clean outside of kind of history and ownership papers. This car, we kind of got quite a bit of, I'd say, backlash from people online. We put it online for, $49,900, and people were blowing up our emails saying, "Oh, you guys are crazy, it's ridiculous, you'll never get this for that car." And we were pretty confident we would, and the market spoke. That car sold in less than 2 weeks for very, very close to $50,000. So, I guess we just showed everyone that, yes, a clean RS4 in a nice color with good history is worth very close to $50,000 in Canada. Number 6, the red low kilometer GTR. This car, super clean, had like 4,000 kilometers on it. Red itself is a rare color outside of being regal red. And this car was just out of the box new. Part of the attachment to it was just like, it's just like a new car. Perfect history, like 4,000 and the guy had done 8 oil changes. He just did an oil change every 6 months, regardless of mileage. So just, it was a well taken care of car. It came from a very good home with somebody that had a very large collection of multiple cars. Number 5, this was also the red wide body GTR. And the reason why I like this one was it's the first wide body car we'd had for a GTR. You don't see a ton of wide body cars in general. And I'm all about unique modified cars, and obviously GTRs are no exception. This was a car that we kind of bought it just thinking, hey, we'll have it in our showroom. We'll get people that kind of come in on it for fun and just look at it. And we actually never even advertised the car outside of people just seeing it on Instagram and that sort of thing. And the car sold without any advertisement in a matter of, I don't know, within a week or so of us actually getting it. So again, the market spoke, and we just know what's in demand when it comes to GTRs. I promise there's no more GTRs on the list, so we'll move on to some other unique stuff. Number 4, the 2020 Supra. Now, the reason why this one's so high up on the list is when we acquired this car, we actually acquired it before Toyota Canada's official release date to the public. So I'd very confidently say we had the first 2020 in Canada outside of a Toyota dealer that you could actually buy. I know a couple customers had taken delivery, but were told to kind of keep quiet about it. But we had it in our showroom before Toyota Canada's release date, and it was funny, people would come in the showroom to look at whatever, something else, not knowing we had this, and would lose their mind that we had a 2020, and most Toyota dealers didn't even have one in their showroom to show. And of course this car sold right away. Kind of unfortunate that these cars haven't actually held the value that I thought they would have. Now I think you can pretty much buy them at MSRP or even at a discount out of a Toyota store. So cool car for really not a lot of money. Number 3, this car is currently sold, but in our showroom, it'll be there until the spring. This is the Callium Blue gated manual transmission Lamborghini Gallardo. Now, this car, it's so high up, it's a manual Gallardo, so it's a rare car to begin with. Very sought after, very desirable. And the cool thing about this car, it's actually been owned by a friend of mine for about 7 or 8 years. And so again, it's kind of one of these cars I've seen, out and about through social events, just hanging out with them and doing organized drives. So it's a car I've known about for years. And we just kind of facilitated brokering it and storing it for the client that is picking it up in the spring. But honestly, in terms of a manual Gallardo, this is an 05 with 60-odd thousand kilometers, and it looks like a brand new car. There is no imperfections inside, no imperfections outside. just like a perfect car, and like Manuel Gallardo again. Like, it's well deserving of spot number 3 on the list. Number 2, the matte black aired out Audi R8. And this is a car that lots of you will know. Lots of you will know the owner around town, or the previous owner. A couple reasons why this scored so highly on my list. The first reason being, aesthetically, when you saw this car and what had been done to it mods wise, with the air suspension and the wheels, and there was quite a long list. Matte black finish. It aesthetically looked absolutely stunning. This car looked awesome. Really awesome car. Again, the 6-speed manual car, so super sought after in terms of art in the R8 world. And again, like, we put it online and it sold the next day. I think we woke up to like 25 emails about the car. So it, again, market commanded. It was a very desirable car in terms of people looking at it on the retail market. And with that, we're at number 1. My favorite car I've sold in 2019 was the McLaren 570S. And I mean, obviously, I think without too much reason, it's easy to understand why it's number 1 on the list. Absolutely unreal car in terms of everything. How it looked, how it sounded, how it drove, the performance numbers, the attention on the road, the doors, like, you name it. You know why this car deserves number 1 on the list. Just an unreal car to drive. Like, the whole experience, everything about it, from getting into it, to starting it, to driving, to if you want to rip it, like, it is an unreal car. McLaren brand has really, really, really stepped up their game in the last few years, and there's a reason why they're selling so many cars. You know, and they're pulling guys from Lambo and from Ferrari into the brand. And to be honest, these cars, you can buy a newer McLaren with a little bit of warranty for in the 200 range, which is an absolute bargain for those cars. McLaren is definitely something that in 2020, I'm going to be trying to get my hands on a couple of them for us to both have to sell and to, you know, make a little bit of content with. For sure, I'm sure you guys understand there's a good reason why that's number 1 on my favorite car sold in 2019. So with that, those are my 10 favorite cars I sold in the past year. I mean, obviously we sold hundreds of cars, so I had to kind of narrow it down to the 10 coolest cars in my mind. So like I said, 2020, you know, we're going to have even more car deals, more cool cars. It's a never-ending thing with us. That's, of course, what we do first, and this part of it is just a little bit for fun to document it. So going back to what I said earlier at the beginning of the video, just want to thank everyone who's subscribed to the channel, likes these videos, watches them, comments, and interacts with me in any way. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys in 2020.